Hello, one and all, and welcome to Hyperluxe Arena, and we are going to be having a wonderful day today. It is going to be a single elimination tournament of a fantastic variety, and right off the bat, Kendo Slice, Ken Carmen here, alongside Bass from the past. Bass, we don't get to share a booth very often, but it is a pleasure to be here with you.
We need to do this a lot more often, but hopefully this is only the start, my friend, because we have got a whole long tournament ahead of us, meaning we've got a whole lot of games to get through, including our very first matchup. These boys are going to be competing for hundreds of dollars here tonight, including the two first teams, BHA versus Fisher Friends, and oh boy, this is going to be an interesting way to kick it off.
Very much so. Of course, we're already going to have an NA versus EU battle, so what better way to start things off than to go and pour gasoline on what is already the hottest fire in Rocket League esports. The argument of who can do better, one side of the pond or the other. And when you consider you've got university players from Europe going up against a really an all-star team from the United States CRL side, this is going to get hot.
Oh boy, is it. Especially when they are competing for the money here tonight. Knockout Series number 4 is a $345 prize pool, meaning we're going to be spreading out a couple $100s to each team. Third place takes home $35, second place $103, and finally, first place takes home $207. Over $200 going to first place here, Kendo. So you know these guys are going to be wanting to start off red hot, especially when it's a single elimination tournament. One and done. You lose at any point. That's the end of your night.
Yeah, and that is a dangerous confines to be in, especially right now. We're in the quarterfinals. It's a best-of-3 scenario, so one loss, one mistake could lead to your undoing. All the more reason for our first two teams. Again, we've alluded, it's an EU versus NA matchup. It's going to be Fisher Friends, a name we're very familiar with, going up against, and I'm only going to say the full name once, Big, Huge, Juicy Esports, BHJ for short.
I'm not going to say it. You can be the one to say it for here today. Don't worry, we'll call them BHJ for the rest of this time, as I don't think that we necessarily need to pronounce their full name. But it's okay. I think they'll be good competitors here anyways, because on the other side, for Fisher Friends, it's not Fisher. It's going to be Fisher's friends at this point, not everybody else. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be Bacon, and it's going to be Josher Squasher, which are all very good players. Just rather interesting that the team name, the team captain, Fisher, is not playing.
I mean, I know Fisher was very busy with a LAN, a big collegiate Floridian battle that they had earlier this week. So maybe on the way back from that. Of course, they've surprised me before, but this is the first time I've seen this team without Fisher on the pitch. I know Josher, I know Powerful, I know Bacon, all very talented in their own right, but when you don't have the captain, the namesake, driving the ship, well, in the past, mutiny could take place. Who knows? By the end of it, I know this much. It's going to be very entertaining, as we do have everyone slotting in. Fisher Friends going up against, we're going to do it one more time, Big, Huge, Juicy Esports, the EU guys on their way in. Let's see how they do.
I'm not gonna lie, it's nice to load into the lobby, and after us talking about, BHJ, such an interesting profile picture that they've chosen for the team. Yeah, it's the same profile they basically all have. Anime pictures abound, but hey, is that gonna give them that anime power in order to win this matchup? Only time will tell. Game number 1 underway, and it does seem like out the gates, Fisher Friends are firing.
Yes, indeed, and Powerful, someone you definitely have to watch out for. Joshua did a majority of the work here to start out, but the early push, 9 seconds in, looking oh so good.
Well, they look fantastic so far here, but again, it's only 9 seconds in. We've got plenty of time for a turnaround here, especially when it's a kickoff goal that gives us that first one. A little bit of time to settle in here. Now maybe we can see a response out of BHJ as they do move down the field. Nigeria, though, not the greatest touch, so instead it's up to Awesome to try and contain it. But yeah, it does kind of feel like maybe that first goal was just an errant kickoff. And the response will be there! Nigeria to tie us!
Striking from Africa is Nigeria. Notices the loose touch and immediately jumps on that one. I don't care what your ping is. That's a goal for the ages.
Oh, my word, is it something special? And it's a heck of a response to tie us up as we are only 30 seconds into this one. Kendo, I'm not going to shy away from a backyard brawl here. If it just goes back and forth, taking slugs at each other, eventually we will find a winner, but it may be a rather physical one. And you can see that here. So much pressure already being exerted out of BA Shay.
You know what? I'm always down for a Donnybrook. Like, bring it on. My fisticuffs are ready, and I get the feeling both of these teams, legendary gentlemen, but also fierce fighters in this stage. Nigeria looking to push up past Powerful, not able to breach through the goal line as of yet, but they are holding their own after what was, I'm going to say, a fluke on the kickoff, because they're looking oh so good.
Yeah, it's definitely one of these things where, you come into the game, you've got an idea of how they're going to play, then the other team starts doing ceiling shots against you, and you go, okay, maybe it's time to readjust, lads. And, well, they're going to need to do a little bit more, because here comes another goal. All three players getting involved, and Fisher back on top.
So difficult, and it's one of the things I love about utilizing the unguarded backboard and the sidewall. You see the change of direction, the misdirection, affect the defense twice in a row. That's the extra touch you always hear me talking about, and it was put to use twice in that play.
Yeah, they were doing a really good job of communicating effectively and utilizing all three players on the pitch. But again, we're very early into this game. Only about minute 30, gone at this point. So it's definitely not set in stone here. If they can get another goal and give themselves a 2-goal lead, I think Fisher Friends are going to have a little bit of a safety net, to put it simply. But they also need to make sure they put shots on target, just as I asked for it. They will put another one off the bar. Continual pressure building here for Fisher Friends, but it'll be alleviated as they go across court.
I am mildly worried about the presence on the backboard. Just has not been there for BHJ, and it's a very easy change to adjust on, but they could have used it right there. Josher gonna see it through a tight angle.
Yet another goal at this point. It feels like this is kind of where all of this is starting. They get into the corner. There's not as much of a contest there, as a double commit on the line forces them into an awkward defense. And that's kind of the issue right now, is that BHJ, they seem to have a very powerful offense. They are quick to move into it, but they don't stay there very long. And once they get back into defense, it looks a bit uncomfortable. Good example here. Naruzo barely goes off the backboard. Eventually does get a touch. When it comes to the offense, look how quick they are to move in. Awesome just needs a shot on target, and it will not go. Josher Squasher to keep it out.
Oh, it's so close. It's not over yet, though. Awesome gets another one towards the net in the double commit of great note, because that'll alleviate a large amount of the pressure. Nigeria's there in the midfield to try to keep this ball in, but it is once again Fisher Friends. They look to be feeding the fish as we've crossed halftime.
We cross halftime, and it is also not crossing the half at all right now. It feels like they've been locked in for so incredibly long as Fisher Friends. Eventually, something had to give, and there it is. Powerful to pick up their second goal.
And you see how much elevation they have on this ball. The backboard defense was there, but it just did not seem like it was segmented into the rotation. It seemed just a tiny bit broken. It's all things that can be adjusted, and you consider we still have 2 minutes left here in game one. There's still a chance for this team at AAU, and maybe they can put together some new big, huge, juicy game plan.
They're going to have to very quickly, and I think part of that is also being able to be a bit more comfortable on the pitch. They keep on booming this out to midfield and not being able to set up any sort of play. And again, another good example. Bacon to take this one to the ceiling, wants the double touch off the backboard. Instead, he'll set up Powerful, and they'll pick up a hat trick. 5 goals to the good at this point here, and they've got 100 seconds left, Kendo. I don't know if it's enough time.
Yeah, you do have to block at the point of attack, and right there you can see they're advancing into those positions. It's just that half second behind, and half second doesn't sound like much, but in Rocket League, if you're a half second behind, well, you're whiffing.
It's GG's well played at that point, unfortunately. And honestly, might be GG go next at this point here for our friends on BHJ. Not a bad first game, but it does kind of feel like once the floodgates open and the goals started getting scored, we saw more and more passivity out of this BHJ squad as Fisher friends got more and more efficient on offense. Another good example of that. It takes them all the way to the actual net to eventually challenge. And while they do get a goal on the other end, I don't know if it's going to change the outcome. 70 seconds left. Kendo, do you believe in miracles?
I do believe in miracles, and it doesn't take the Winter Olympics to make that happen for me. And you get a gimme like that, you have to be able to strike upon it. Opportunistic gameplay by BHJ. Let's see if they can do it again. Oh, and off the kickoff, they get you know what, I'm going to go with it. A juicy ball right there in the midfield. They just weren't able to strike.
I'm not going to lie, you're a little bit more ambitious with that than I would maybe be. But at the same time, I think the ambition is probably something the teams need to look forward to as well. Creativity working out in favor of Fisher Friends right now, but it feels like when BHJ move into this offense, it's not necessarily as lethal. Again, another good example, booming clear out to nowhere and no one there to follow it up. With 40 seconds left, they can't afford to be giving up possession like this. They need to make sure they keep it close, and as Awesome sends that out to the side, I think that may be GG's here in that game.
Yeah, you spoke that one into existence. Nigeria is on the back line, though, to make sure that that's gone through. And then we have a transition all the way back. Just need to see it down. But from behind, the defense coming from Bacon, something you don't see very often. I am seeing it more and more, though, especially in the pro side of play, when that overlapping first man in ends up getting back behind the play and making that over the axle behind the play, somehow getting it across to the side. It makes the rotation all the more sure. You just have to make sure it's well communicated before you cut.
Yeah, absolutely. It does feel like that's the big thing here, is making sure that everybody is all in sync right now, and Nigeria seems to be in sync with themselves, not quite able to get that on target. Josh kept this up. There's no way. Is this on? Awesome to keep it out and not allow another goal, and no one to let it down. Powerful's going to take this one around the net and try and reset up his teammates yet again. Joshua puts it center. Bacon is there. That is not on target, though, and Fisher Friends, outcome will stay the same. They still take the win 5-2.
They do, but I like what we saw out of BHJ, especially there towards the end. And you look at the shot scenario, they were not getting completely outshot. This was not a blow you out of the building type of performance. I think there was an adjustment that needed to be made. You saw that adjustment being made as we went on throughout the series. So there is still more than just a chance. It's a puncher's chance for BHJ going into game number 2.
They look good. They do look very good, and I feel like that's part of the issue here that can make this all the more frustrating, is that they're not playing poorly. They're just unfortunately missing a couple little things here and there. The fact that they keep on booming the ball across court, all of a sudden losing possession, and then giving extra time now for Fisher Friends to move into their half, and then when they do move into their half, all of a sudden it's a lot of space being given. No one's really challenging in the corner. They're waiting in the net until eventually a shot comes so that they can try and defend it. I'm not sure if it's maybe the fact that that initial goal kind of set them into a tizzy, but they do need to get a little bit more self-confident, to put it simply here. For a team that is this good, you shouldn't be doubting yourselves on every challenge.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the biggest key, the takeaway here is the fact that if they can shore up some of those chucks into the defensive zone or out of the defensive zone, they can have a much better controlled purpose behind the ball. And we'll see if they're able to do that. We're going to slot in game number 2, about to get underway. They made the adjustments. Let's see if they can come out on top here early in this second.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see a back and forth series here, especially considering that if they don't, that's the end of this one. Best of 3s, meaning that you only have one more life to give, and you can guarantee that at this point, BHJ do not want to give it up easily. Let's see if they can have a response to game number 1. Already, they do actually have an offense going. This is a 2v1, but again, powerful touches leading to nothing. Immediate dispossession, and Joshua, chance to go the other way.
Shot on. You got to make sure you get a little bit of pressure upon it. They will not be punished this time around, but this is the type of control through the midfield. As long as they can stay on top of that ball that you do like. Win a 50, you can very easily put yourself in wonderful confines offensively for this rotation. This was going to drop here in the box. good patience, and Nigeria will come around. Josher's going to fall on it, and this may lead to a transition back the other way as Bacon will recover. Oh, so well.
I like this, though. It's just a back-and-forth gameplay here. Not as much as we were seeing initially, where it just kind of felt like, I don't know, teams were taking their chances, but it always felt a little bit more lethal in favor of Fisher. Can it this time? No such luck. Defense on the line to keep it out. And we go a minute without getting either team a goal. And honestly, I like that. A little bit more of a tentative back and forth now.
Yeah, 100%. Nigeria gets around one. It's a shot directly onto Josher. And I'd like a little more indirect an approach, but the fact is they are getting these shots and much better starting position for some of these offensive pushes. That will lead to more lethality and gain extra time of possession, especially in the offensive zone. Is this one going to drop down for Josher? Not able to finish as Naruzu will just get that one out.
Ruzu just making sure to do everything on defense there, and honestly, they needed to. The defense on the line looking a little bit shaky as a couple double commits come out, but maybe it can work out in their favor. No such luck. Shot on target off the bar, but it gets bounced on out, and we continue through this game without a single team on the board. 2 minutes already played.
That is a strong push. Nigeria going to get the shot towards the net, but it'll be just short. Bacon's there to pick it up. I do appreciate the little bit of back check that we have going on from Fisher Friends. They're extremely patient on the line, and now they're being ever more so in the offensive box. It's powerful to slot it away. How many touches off the backboard was that?
Now let's go 1, 2, another one goes off, 3 basically at that point, and wow, I don't think you needed any more than that. 1-0 in favor of Fisher Friends, and they're doing Fisher justice with that name at this point here, and with the performance, because, oh wait a minute, if they fake it off a kickoff though, that might not be the best idea. Lads, you're only up by 1, and you're halfway through this game, revealing your card up your sleeve this early, and it didn't really work out. It's all pressure going to BHA, so Fisher Friends, maybe not the best idea.
Yeah, probably not, but you know you got to do it if you're feeling it. This is a team that's not just based upon the best skills within the CRL landscape. They are also bringing a very fun meme culture in the process. I'm not saying follow anybody on Twitter, but I mean, it is a pretty fun follow.
I'm going to actually advertise the opposite way on this one and say don't do that if you care about your Twitter feed. But at the same time, make sure to show Fisher at least some love. The man's playing in CRL. He's doing a lot of big things here and there. Even if his tweets may make you want to, you know, like, pull your eyeballs out, it's okay. It's not necessarily the worst thing ever here. And, well, I think it's going to also be a pretty good day for Fisher if he finds out that his boys are moving on to the next round. They're 90 seconds away from doing so. A 1-0 lead, though, Kendo. Not set in stone, not by a long shot.
I feel like I need to play the antagonist on this one later, but we'll let this one pass because we are in the most important confines. 80 seconds still on the clock. Powerful looking for a goal in the offensive zone. Will not find it. We are very close confines between these two teams. Point of contact is Nigeria able to keep this one out, and they are getting much better progression, especially in the defensive zone, as that is another save on the goal line. Standing on their heads are BHJ, and can they get this ball clear to a potentially open net because Fisher Friends are so overcommitted right now?
Oh my gosh. I mean, you talk about overcommitted, though. They're still overcommitting on the line here, sending 2 players at once on repeat. The amount of double commits I have seen is why this ball has not left their half. They've been getting clears like that, but there's no one to follow up when you commit 2 players, and they do it again! Unfortunately, this time, Bacon will punish.
My goodness, it's sizzling the shot into the top corner, and yeah, you can't defend it that long very successfully. It just seemed like it was a matter of time, and finally the defense did break. 1 double commit, all it would take, and Powerful off the kickoff might be able to find yet another one. It would be the nail in the coffin at this point. Then it'll be all the way back. Holding the hopes of this squad in their axles, and that is the possession of the ball. Not quite there. Powerful to put it away, and with 13 to go, I don't want to call it early, but this is a tough one to overcome.
Oh, that's just so unfortunate. A 50-50 going completely awry, and as it lands in front of the net, there's nothing you can do but slam that one home, and Bacon does exactly that. 3-2 the good, and it is now, with 12 seconds left, completely out of hand. Had they found a response, Kendo would have said this one could stay alive, but unfortunately here, all they're looking for is a goal for the road to build some confidence for the next tournament, because BHJ, this is the end of your run. They're heading home, and Fisher Friends are moving on to the next round, and I think they're going to do so in a shutout. Wait a minute, maybe not. Is Powerful going to score it himself? No, almost able to, but not quite. And indeed, 3-0 final score here as Fisher Friends move on to the next round.
I do love the fact it seemed like we had a lot of fun back and forth banter between the teams. So there's a lot of mutual respect going on. And I gotta say this, just right off the bat, I like what we had in a big, huge, juicy esports squad. I look forward to seeing what they're able to do in the future. And my question is if this is on a EU ping and you have Fisher Friends crossing the pond, does the result end up being different?
I mean, part of me wants to say yes. Part of me is a little bit wondering if maybe it wasn't the ping, but the rotations that were kind of leaving this team awry here. Because again, think about the double commits, all of the little things in the line that they did that left them a little bit in a panic here. I'd like to say yes. I'd like to say we could see a competitive back and forth, but at this point, who knows? We're going to have to find out another day, because today they are out of this one. They're going to have to move on to the next round here and try and battle against a different team. But for Fisher Friends, that's not necessarily a surprising thing. They look like a very threatening squad here today, Kendo. And against the competition that we have, it may be a struggle, but I do see them going pretty deep into this run.
100%. And keep in mind, again, it is a single elimination bracket. So one and you're done. No come back around and get a second try. That's next week. You don't get to worry about that right now. Folks, I'm looking forward to even more amazing action. And just after a quick break, we're going to have another quarterfinal for you. It's 0 HP. How are they still in this if they have 0 HP? That's my real question. They're going up against Spinach. Will Popeye be eating tonight? Or will the ones with 0 HP find the Phoenix down? We'll find out in another quarterfinal bat just after this break.
To the end.
And welcome back, one and all. We are here yet again at the Hyperluxe Arena. You gotta love the action that we are getting to behold right now. And to my knowledge, we're actually going to the EU servers for this one, Bass. Kendo Slice alongside the one and only Bass from the past. How did you get that name, by the way? It's like Bass from the past. What happened to Bass to the future? Is there an alter ego, a burner account that I need to know about? Don't answer that.
Not yet.
We got important things we need to talk about, and that is the Founders Series that is coming up. Folks, you want to know about the tournaments that are coming up ahead for the Hyperluxe Arena, Hyperluxe GG, and part of that is there is a big series. It starts not tomorrow, but the Sunday after, 8 days from now, on February 13th. And it is going to be a 4-week-long qualifying series where you can qualify for some big opportunities. By the way, the qualifier itself is a $400 prize pool. So what are you doing if you are not getting involved with what Hyperluxe is putting out? So definitely want to check that one out. As signups, I imagine they'll get a link somewhere around here in the chat for you. Make sure you get yourself, your team signed up for the Hyperluxe Founders Series. Again, 4 weeks, points carry over throughout the week, and you qualify for the big one at the end. You don't want to miss that.
No, definitely do not want to, especially like you said, when you're getting paid for every single one of the events as well. Why would you not? You have thousands of dollars you can win, in addition to the fact that you're already winning ahead of time. I mean, honestly, it's a win-win all around here. And, well, for the next two teams that we have up here today, it's not going to be win-win. It's going to be win-loss. There's only one that can survive here, Kendo, because, again, we are still in a single elimination bracket. And for the next team that we have coming up here in 0 HP versus Spinach, I mean, honestly, this is going to be I don't know. It's going to be a brawl. It's one of these things where the last one, we kind of had an idea who might come out on top. This one, we're going in. Mine's completely blank.
Yeah, and Spinach, they're going to come in looking pretty strong. We've been told a little bit about some of the players on Spinach. NXC, a up-and-coming high school player within the EU ranks. Zouch was in the top 2 of the previous tournament, so you already know they got a little bit of history going into this one, but I'm seeing titles on the opposite end of the pitch. Some grand champions, some supersonic legend tournament winners in Kyrie. So, if you go off of titles, it's a pretty threatening squad there in orange.
Whew, seems like both of these squads are pretty threatening at this point, though. They are moving around the pitch at Mach 7 speeds, cutting each other out, though, and I do like this. In comparison to the last game where we had a little bit of a passive defense, to see them cutting out these angles ahead of time, yeah, I'm liking this matchup so far here, Kendo.
Oh, it is Morgan with the initial push in, and I'm mainly looking for how do these two teams control the ball through the midfield. We saw one of the grave disadvantages that the previous team, BHJ, put themselves in was from really slapping possessions away. This is not Vince. This is not a slap chop commercial. You do not want to slap your possessions away, because the moment you do, well, we saw what happened to the off-brand version of the slapper. It got thrown behind the back into the trash.
Oh, the poor slapper at that point here.
I
Well,
know.
the good thing is
Feels bad.
neither one of these teams is going to have a feels bad moment quite yet here. We're about 70 seconds into this one. Neither one of the teams has been able to find anything aside from some shots on target here. And to be honest, it's, again, not one of these things where it feels like the offense is lacking, but the defense is just aware here. No warm-up game number 1. They're not feeling each other out there coming into this one, slugging on each end, but maybe a bit too aggressive. Not if Morgs can make the save. Kyrie and Data both went for the same goal. The good thing is they did have a third to back them up. We continue through this game, still scoreless on either side.
We are going to see a little bit of a push and a chance for a follow, but I'd like to see a little more boost behind an opportunity like that. And the EU style has in the past been to utilize the long clears, that dump and chase mentality that you see is sometimes utilized within the hockey world. It is very much in play, especially when you look at, especially in the EU professional scene. It's kind of normal to create opportunities like that by hammering the sidewall.
And also out of nowhere as well, it's a little bit of awkwardness here, and you can see the double commit on the line. Neo and also NXC not sure who should go for it. And when you give space to Morgs like that, they're going to snipe it on target. 1-0 in favor of the team in blue and 0 HP. Now they just got to battle through the second half of this ball game.
You've heard it said, put the ball where your opponent is not. You can also put the ball where your opponent is obviously uncomfortable, especially when you look at lower ranks. There are some things that not every Rocket League player can do, and right now that is exactly what we are seeing from 0 HP. They are putting the ball where it seems like Spinach have not opened the can yet. Zouch working the corner, might be able to find Neo. This is going to be down the Borges there. Great backboard defense.
Yeah, continuing to play with such good defense here, just cutting out options before they can turn into anything threatening. They're obviously going to be prepared for this one. Kyrie sends it center, and Data there to follow it up, and a good 1-2 combo is the reason they can alleviate all of this pressure. And again, defense seemingly winning the game right now here. It's been back and forth, both teams having good chances at offense. But the one difference, blue side, 0 HP, doing a good job just cutting out these angles before they can even arrive. Speaking of angles, Kyrie shot on target, but a little bit off.
And Neo does get the goal line stand as well, but the priority right now is on 0 HP. They have this ball in the corner, and they are getting a significant push back to the play. Morgs jamming everyone who would challenge the physical play on the line, but the ball is high. The secondary shot will fall, though, and Data will keep the pressure on.
Sometimes you gotta love these where when you're expecting a banger of a shot, just a little floater in too awkward of a position, and NXC just has to watch it as it flies right over his car. 1:23 left on the clock. A 2-0 deficit is not going to be the downfall. Well, at least not necessarily. Spinach can find a quick response here, Kendo. I still got faith that this series could possibly go to overtime.
100%, and with 75 seconds, there's more than enough time on the clock for spinach to make the comeback. In fact, you don't need to cook spinach for it to be good. You can just throw it in a salad. It don't even need dressing. It is good stuff. Better than kale. Kale? Stupid. Don't do that. We have a minute left, and NXC is looking for a shot towards the net. We'll get the dump. The chase is won out by Morgs, though. And they need to have better ball security within the offensive zone if they want to overcome that deficit.
And they also need to be careful. Playing a little bit passive here is not going to be beneficial for the team with 40 seconds left. At this point, it's send everything in the kitchen sink mentality here. Yes, it could lead to another goal, but it could also lead to your comeback. So you're going to have to take that risk at some point. 30 seconds left. They are starting to get aggressive. NXC trying to do it by themselves, but no one there for the follow-up. Neo tries to get a little bit of a dribble going, but again, you gotta send the house, and they'll do exactly that. NXC to demo in the net, and Zouch, easy shot on target.
And NXC making all of that happen. The demo on the back end, that's exactly where the ball slotted. Brilliant stuff by this team to bring it all back. Now with 21 seconds to go, there is still that opportunity off the kickoff. Oh, he's got it. Neo will score.
And all of a sudden, we are all tied up. Again, kickoffs continue to be so incredibly volatile at every level.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing. DC there, disconnection, and uh-oh, this could be a scary scenario with 19 seconds left.
And I'm not sure how they're going to play it out. I feel like there is a little bit of a grace period, and it seems like we're going to go to overtime. They might await the arrival. It's a sad happening that we are in this scenario, and of course, it's not like we have the professional admins in place to put the pause on to reset everything. This happening in the very last moment, it kind of stinks.
Yeah, it's never something you want to see. This is a little bit better, though. I do actually appreciate this. The players are being rather communicative and rather respectful about this. They're like, hey, we got it tied up, but we're not going to score on you while it's in a 2v3. We're going to try and figure this one out. And I think that's the big thing that we're trying to do right now, is trying to understand exactly why this player has disconnected. Oh, he's on his way back. He's in the match, so it does look like we have got a possible scenario to go for golden goal. The question is do they want to do this in this lobby, or are they going to try and do a proper golden goal in a different one? Let's find out. Wow, they're being respectful.
There we go.
Giving the ball away. First possession, going in favor of the team in orange.
You know, that felt like back in the day playing some college intramural pickup ball. Like, you know what? We got first pick. You take ball at this point, and you gotta love it when everybody can work everything out. That is the Rocket League community in a nutshell. And a big demo on the back end. Politeness turning very quickly to disrespect, and Zouch, I'll vouch for that.
Oh my word. Again, demo plays to open up the net, and as fair as we can make that overtime, it was exactly that. The unfortunate truth, though, is it's the same result no matter what here. Spinach gonna take this one in 0 HP, unfortunately. Going to let that slip away from them. Again, up until the last 30 seconds, Spinach did not have a shot at that one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna skate over everything and be like, hey, this just straight up sucks. When that happens to you at 0 HP, you're up by 1. The disconnect ends up being a part of the reason that you even go into the overtime. Yeah, it sucks, but you gotta be the bigger team. You have to overcome, and they're gonna have to do that. No copium imaginable can get you through this. You just have to grind, and I get the feeling if this team can show their grind, score their first goal, a lot of momentum will be found behind that.
Oh yeah, 100%. But they need the momentum now more than ever. Again, it's a best of 3, so this could possibly be an elimination match if 0 HP can't turn this one around. And it's not going to be easy. After the end of the game that Spinach had there, you have to imagine that they are going to be red hot going into the second game.
Now, as we do have the fresh slate, the clean clock, the 5 minutes, already 15 seconds whittled off, and Morgs seems to be back in underpowered. Kyrie had a great shot on, and what a 50-50. This is going to line up for Dada. Not enough of a smack, though, and I'd like to see a little bit better positioning, as creeping too far forward really nerfed that shot.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the positioning is a little bit nervous right now. No nerves for Zouch right here. He'll slam one on target and open up the scoreline.
And this all starts with Neo bulking up on the goal line and into the box. 2 straight 50-50s, and that second one just perfectly slotted. One-timer goal, and Zouch will start things out on the right foot.
And honestly, they're kind of continuing on the right foot here, and that's now 4 uncontested goals in a row in favor of Spinach here. So 0 HP, they started off hot, but unfortunately, maybe now we're starting to understand where the 0 HP comes from. They're running out of health pots. They've got nothing left, so they're throwing whatever they've got in their bag to try and get into this one. I think a good goal in their favor could get them back into it, Kendo, but they need it quickly. It does feel like this series is starting to slip away.
They need a little bit more than a Chemtech Dragon, I know that much. We're not going to... No names, please. We don't go beyond that. Let me tell you, they do need some work, and the momentum not in their favor here at the moment. A pass from Kyrie. Dada will choose to go back instead. Wise decision. Was once again maybe a little bit too forward on that play. NXT cannot power through, and it's going to be, what can you do beyond your initial challenge in, because the initial challenges have been put by the wayside for the most part. It's been the offense that starts in the offensive zone that has been finding its way through.
Absolutely, and the question is can we find one of these two offenses any sort of success here as we get past the 3-minute mark? Morg's trying to bump Zouch on the backboard to set up his teammate, but instead it's Kyrie to set up Dada, who gets it into the back of the net. Nice. Awkward defense on the line and perfectly placed to take advantage.
And again, point of attack right there in the box. Kyrie utilizing the backboard, and that has been the story of this entire stream so far. How many times can you get the extra touch off of the backboard, and who in their right mind is gonna guard it?
We're gonna have to find someone has to make that sacrifice here. I understand it's so awkward on the backboard, but this is an issue at every level of Rocket League. I've seen professional players who struggle with this because of the fact that they're just not expecting it. They don't want to give up that pressure, because all of a sudden it leads to that 1, 2, 3 three-piece combo and some wings out of midfield, because they are high flying and striking on target.
Well, and the thing was, that all started from their own zone. It was actually a 4-piece. So reload the clip. I hope you got another, because that could be a play of the week.
Well, it's a beautiful way for them to get the lead back in their favor, but now, Kendo, comes the hard part. Halfway through this game, and they've got to hold on, not just for the sake of this game, but for the sake of the series, because if 0 HP give this one up, all of a sudden the series is over, and Neo, he seems to understand that. They're going back into offense, and already Spinach are looking to clap back.
Another pass that Zouch will jump on very early on. The reservation of the boost is going to allow Morgs to slot this one high, though. This patience, watch this pass. They decide we're not going to go for it. They've already pre-jumped it. They utilize the weak touch, recenter, and yet another one-timer from the slot finds its way to pay dirt.
It's a beautiful offense, but again, it's the same issue we're starting to see on defense here. Passivity on the net, where they're just kind of waiting for the ball to shoot on target. Like we said, someone's got to be preemptive on that backboard. Someone's got to be prepared, and someone's got to be prepared here as well. Neo Quan eventually does approach the ball, but it is far too late. Spinach, with only about 2 minutes left here, you cannot start getting hesitant. You need to be able to challenge everything, because at this point, you need to try and make the comeback happen if you do not want to let this series slip away. But speaking of slip away, Zouch's gonna have a 1v1 from an errant touch, and Spinach a chance now to put this one away.
Ooh, but they won't be able to this time around. Great midfield presence by 0 HP, as they will quell what seemed to be a very hot offense into the zone. And what a transition! Morgs with help from Dada is gonna put a 3 spot in the distance.
Oh my word, they just continue to prove why that first game was a little bit of just a disruption issue. After that, they're back and they are cooking 4-1 here, and doing so in really every fashion, whether that be putting pressure in front of the net, whether that be quick transitions. Kendo, they seem to have it all, and that's a bit unfortunate for Spinach, who are looking really good as well, but now they just can't contain the offense on the other side.
No, they cannot, and I can't contain my excitement because it seems like every single goal that we are getting right now, Bass, is better than the previous one. That's a hard thing to overcome, and that's really what Spinach are going to have to do here with 1 minute left. Not much more than solace that you can receive from a match like this one, but the gentleman's agreement does have them in this game and this series still. With 42 seconds to go, Kyrie's going to get to the side. Do they have the shot? They do, and that's a goal. They're going to cut into the lead.
Once again, you got to remember, the big reason that you can never count out the Spinach team is they've already proven once they have that comeback potential. For them to do it again, it's not out of the question. It's also not even that unlikely here, because with 37 seconds left, they've got a second on the board, and now they're feeling confident again. A lot of the issue we were seeing was a lack of confidence and a second-guessing nature that left them in the dust. They can't do that now. 30 seconds left, and Zouch seems to understand how important this could be. NXC! He tries to redirect it on target, but in doing so, all the momentum of that shot is lost.
Yeah, I think they go away with solace here. There's 19 seconds left to go. I would be surprised if they managed to get the full comeback, but they enter into Game 3 with a tourniquet on the momentum as they score another one. NXT so cracked.
We need one more good goal here, and they can send us to overtime. I mean, listen, I think it is possible, but it's not up to us at this point here. Now it's up to Spinach to see if they can just get one good goal. Kickoff has to be basically perfect for them. Let's tune in and find out. Zouch sends this out to the side. NXT is going to be there. This actually is going to be an offense. He just needs to get it around the defenders.
You gotta be kidding me!
No! Zouch puts it in, and we're going to most likely head to overtime.
I mean, don't call it right now. Zeros. It's not a 0-second scenario, and they have passively given away their lead. 0 HP. This is a tragedy for the boys in blue.
It's not a tragedy for the audience at this point, though, because we had to overtime to possibly determine it all. Spinach with yet another late-game comeback, and if they can complete this one like they did the first, they will move on to the next round, but they do need to survive on defense first. Here comes that pressure we've seen from 0 HP all game, but again, 3 uncontested goals in a row. Their momentum is beyond not in their favor.
Here comes the push. I see the physical play, and NXT on the back line. Those are the types of plays that you want on the forefront of your offense. Quick cut by Morgs. Will get around too, and this will usher the ball into the corner, where really 0 HP have been able to do quite a bit. Hard off the backboard. McLawn will be right there to at least get this through the midfield, but the midfield pressure game is something to behold from 0 HP. The ball's down! I thought there was someone there on the backboard, but the miss off of this touch is a devastating one, and NXT Spinach complete the comeback.
And do it again. Another 4-goal swing in favor of the team in orange. And that high school star, he's going to continue to shine. NXC doing the most for his squad. Whether it's demos, whether it's goals, whether it's in between. This player was integral to this offense. And as a result, they get to move on to the next round. Kendo, a very impressive performance out of Spinach here.
I'm mind blown right now because some of the gameplay we saw, the passing, everything that they put forth was a brand new sight to behold. I thought this team had it in the bag, but Spinach reached deep. They had their Popeye moment multiple times in this. And I tell you what, if you want a free olive oil live on stream, there we go.
Oh my word. Well, I guess we're going to have to figure out whether or not that Spinach has propelled them into a new state of being. Are they going to be ever strong like Popeye, or are they going to crumble in the next round? Only time will tell. Kendo, we're going to take a quick little break here, get set up for our next round. But when we come back, we will have yet another upper bracket matchup. And again, it's all going to be single elimination. Winner go home. Gonna have to find out who that is. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
To the end.
So Baz, that's when I told him, like, you gotta check out the Founders Series that's coming up for Hyperluxe GG, and it's $400 for a stinking Oh, hi everybody! $400 for a qualifier Hyperluxe GG, the Founders Series, starting Sunday the 13th. You do not want to miss it. Let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, Sunday the 13th. You do not want to miss it. Make sure you get yourself signed up today. Kendo Slice here alongside the one and only Baz from the past. And I got to talk about one other thing before we move on to our semifinal best of 5 between Spinach and some sort of censored team. Must do luck, kind of weird. Anywho, I want to say that there is a coaching giveaway right now. 15 days left on that, and our friend Hootie Who is going to be giving away 3 specific coaching. I want to say coaching jobs, but that's not that doesn't sound correct. Baz, help me out here.
Sessions?
Coaching sessions. Okay. Good word. Caster word. I'll get it right eventually.
I mean, hey, listen, whatever you're going to have to call it, you're going to have to call it a huge opportunity. Hootie Who is an incredible coach who's been around for so incredibly long. He's been, honestly, one of the most helpful people in the scenes for as long as I can remember, and also just a friendly guy all around. So if you want to learn from the best of the best and get a little bit of good tips to maybe, I don't know, win one of these events at some point, make sure that you go and follow Hyperluxe on Twitter right now. I believe it is Hyperluxe GG. But for right now, we've got something that might be a little bit more prevalent. It is game number 1 in this best of 5. We have got the semifinal underway. It is Must Do Flunk versus Spinach. And Kendo, I think we can both agree, this is going to be a heck of a matchup.
Absolutely. Must Do Flunk has done an amazing job on the first 2 of these original pushes forward for the Hyperluxe GG Hyperluxe Arena. So they've already been champions of this tournament, returning champions if I remember correctly. And they have quite the roster behind them. I'm glad that we can get them once again in here. Going up against Spinach, who, you know what? If we see the same Spinach that we have seen in the last minute of games for an entire 5 minutes, I have no doubt that Spinach are going to be able to win this one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of these things where on paper, you'd have to give it to Must Do Flunk. They're just such a storied team. They've been around for forever, even if about a week ago they told us that this, they'd never be playing again. But, whatever you want to say, apparently the little bit of the hiatus that they have taken has brought them back to a new level, because first out the gates to score are Must Do Flunk.
Absolutely, and Edgeby able to throw this one in. A first goal. Gonna be fairly convincing. And Must Do start out on top. Spinach left wondering what they are gonna have to do here, as that is a long ball immediately jumped on upon, and it's just not happening as Creamy carries this one through. They definitely seem like they have the control through the midfield down, do Must Do.
Oh, yeah, they're a very controlled team. And again, they're a lot quicker than some of the other squads we may see, but that could come back to bite them. But you need to make the touch a huge counterattacking opportunity for Spinach, and it unfortunately falls to the wayside.
Yeah, you definitely have to hit those when you get the opportunity, and now they go by the wayside. It's 1 goal that probably should have been, and a potential 2-goal deficit, not quite, as that far down will go out.
I thought that was definitely going in here, and I bet you Must Do Flunk did as well. As you can see, they retreated almost immediately, and, well, they're going to have to retreat even further, because here comes the counterattack. Spinach trying to get in the face of their opponents, but unfortunately now Zouch left by themselves on the back end. Creamy's got a Musty, and he's not going to get it, and EJB will be there to clean it up. Living by their namesake in the Must Do flick, if you will call it.
Yes, absolutely. And Freudian psychology's best friend in Mustuflux will continue to push through in the box. I gotta watch out for those lips, my friend, because already I know they're censored on my screen.
Yeah, it is definitely a team. Every time I cast them, I'm always sitting here making sure to choose my words carefully, just like the players are choosing their shots pretty carefully here. Mustuflux continuing to pepper the net with more and more aggression. It has not come back to bite them, but we've seen opportunities for it to get bitten. So let's see, are they going to still play with this much aggression, this much in-the-face attitude as we get underneath 3 minutes to play? Because 2-0 is a good lead here, Kendo, but as we've seen already today, it is not a guarantee that you'll win the game with that scoreline.
No, it is not, and they are doing an okay job of meeting the point of challenge. It just has not been pushed out very far. Zouch will get around this one. It'll be weakly pushed into the box. Can they get a little bit more? Not quite, and HB will start the rally forward. Loses control of the ball. That's very uncharacteristic.
A little bit odd. It does look like there's a little bit of awkwardness starting to develop here as it's stuck in the Mustuflux half for, I'd say, an extended period of time, to put it simply here. Maybe finally they'll find a little bit of reprieve. Retso's actually going to find it past center. If EJB had not been, pre-jumping that one, I'm pretty sure HB would have had the shot on target. But you know what? I like the creativity. When you're up 2-0 and you're feeling confident, the best way to keep on going with that confidence is to, well, keep building it.
I gotta believe, though, in what Spinach are trying to sell me, because despite the fact that they seem overmatched at times in the defensive zone, they are continuing to keep their offensive mentality the same. You got somebody forward trying to get the cherry picks. We even saw a demo on the back end to alleviate that pressure. Once they get the ball into the offensive zone, they look ever so dangerous. And one demo, though, on the back end could be all it takes. NXT, the third one in, will carry this all the way through, and it's yet another clear. Those gasps for air that Mustuflux are putting forward, they seem like they're enough for now, and the transition offense is keeping them at that 2-0 lead.
I've never seen a team that is this comfortable just getting pressed into their half on repeat here. Doesn't feel like any of these shots are really catching them by surprise, but maybe that one will. Neo Quan puts it just barely off target. And again, this has kind of been the issue here for Spinach, is it feels like they're getting so close to closing the gap between the two teams. When it comes time to put a shot on target, they block their teammate. Ouch, why?
Oh, this is the thing you hate the most, and then Neoquan actually took that right off the nose. Has a secondary touch, won't be able to get it through. What a save by Rexo, as will take away and crush the dreams of two players on the pitch.
Oh my word, this has got to be such a heartbreaking game here for all of Spinach, who have come so close within mere inches of being able to find themselves a goal. And then instead, here comes to the other end as Rexo and Creamy are freestyling off the ceiling. I mean, it's one of these things where you can tell that they're getting a little bit looser with the way that they're playing in Mustuflux, but also at the same time, they're still just as in control as before. They're going for some more creative shots while playing the same Loctite defense. Rexo, a great example as he clears it out. Mustuflux will indeed take the shutout victory in game number 1.
Again, this is a 5-game set here in the semifinals, so you don't have to worry about the quick out, but you are going to have to worry about if your Spinach is, it just seems like you're one demo away from being scored on at times. And Mustuflux, while they were at times hindered within their defensive zone, it was a dominant performance, not necessarily on the shot count. As you see, Edgeby did a majority of the heavy lifting there. It was 8-8 overall. Smiled adjustments could be the difference in this one.
Yeah, I really do think that it's going to be little things that separate the two of these teams here. And specifically, I would say for Mustuflux, it's going to be about making sure that they make all of their shots count, because it's not like they're not getting many shots, but when they do, it's usually quick transitions, and they are with a vulnerable defense that you can exploit. So if they're going to be able to keep doing that, they really do need to make sure every shot counts here. Similarly for Spinach, though, if you're given open nets or opportunities, not saving your teammate's shot, and then also just making sure to put lethal shots on target are going to be key. Inaccuracy for Spinach has been, let's say, a problem, so that we're kind about it, you know?
Yeah, it definitely has been a small issue, and one of many that could arise. An issue is not really a problem unless it gets punished fast. And
Yep.
that's going to be one of the major things that Spinach want to do. They want to be able to punish the transgressions that are put forward by Mustaflux here in game number 2. They held their own. They did not allow Mustaflux to run away with it. Now they have to find their sea legs. They put this game right back into that even keel territory.
Well, if there's one thing that Popeye was known for, is for having some sea legs. So, we'll give it
true
to them for now. Let's see if maybe they can use that to their advantage, as we are 30 seconds into this one, and NXC is setting up his teammates. But again, no one there for the follow-up touch. It does feel like this is part of the issue we've seen with Spinach before. Once the momentum starts to slip away from them, they can get a little bit passive, and if they get too passive, it really does just sort of alleviate pressure for almost no reason. But no! Again! Inaccuracy! It continues to plague them. I've got nothing else to really say.
Yeah, that's painful. You want to make sure that you finish off those opportunities when they present themselves, and that could be the difference going towards the end of this game number 2, as they will once again look to regain, look to recoup their losses. Ball in their defensive zone, and a weak touch by NXE jumped upon immediately by Rexo. You cannot allow any extra space, because it seems like Rexo, Creamy, and HP are right on top of this soon as they see any sort of loose opportunity. Rexo, the travel, has the double tap in the angle down, but Zouch is ready. Oh, not ready for that, though! Not ready for that!
Defense again, just a little bit too jumpy here. Zouch clears it out, and you can see NXC. There's a little bit of a, I don't know what to really call it there, a stutter step, if you will, of where they're like, I could go back for this, but I could also stay in no man's land. And Kendo, it's a definitely painful game, or goal number 1 here in this game.
Well, I mean, if you just catch that as Zouch and make sure you're there for the challenge, that is perfect. But instead, threw themselves at the ball and the initiation out. That was the disadvantage. And so often, you get the little bit antsy, you get that little bit of nervousness in the moment, and you allow yourself to jump. You gotta stay grounded in that moment.
Yeah, you really do need to be very careful, because when it's been very few goals and it's really separating factors like this, you cannot afford to give away a lead, and they will not. Continuing on, Mustaflux find, oh my gosh, what on earth?
I mean, you gotta stay grounded, but you can't stay that grounded, okay? You can't just allow HP to have free reign of the skies, because at that point, you're just waiting for the bomb to drop in the net.
That's beyond a bomb at that point. That is just something else here. And unfortunately, Kendo, at this point, it seems like all of Mustaflux are something else here. They're going for shots like that. Rexo trying to read it off the backboard, and instead, HP will, well, score another one.
Things are going downhill fast. Yeah, that's it. That's the commentary. That was a turtle goal by HP. Are you kidding me?
I mean, do you even call that a turtle goal? That's more like a tortoise goal at that point. Just as slow as physically possible into the net. And I mean, listen, who am I to criticize? Because they're hitting shots on repeat here. Banger after banger, pass after pass. And again, it feels like the passiveness we're starting to see out of the Spinach side, it's just further and further being emphasized and really leaving them in such a detrimental position.
They're being blended down into defensive pesto as we speak, and it's not a very beautiful thing to behold. Mustaflux, they're having fun with it. So there are opportunities in that you are seeing them maybe take it a little bit easy, have a little bit of fun. If the tortoise goal, I think, is one primary indicator. Nobody plays upside down in that box very often. Apparently, HP does. This will be a long ball all the way out. NXT is there just in time to save it away, but they have no answers seemingly on the way after that ball gets to the midfield.
They just keep on getting this pressure, but never being able to really put a shot on target. Another good example, marching all the way into their opponent's half. And maybe I'm using the wrong word in saying not putting shots on target. Maybe it's just the fact that they're not putting lethal shots on, because they do have the majority of shots in this game, 11 total, without a single one hitting the back of the net. And it's not as if they've all been inaccurate. They've forced 7 saves out of Mustaflux. They just can't seem to get past this defense.
That's the problem, though. A lot of those have been quick shouts. They've been directly on the net. And if there's one thing a lot of the goals that we've seen today have had in common, they're misdirections. If they're not solo plays like Creamy are getting right now, oh my, it's dangerous in the box. SB is there, cannot get the follow, though. But a majority of the goals that we have seen today have come off of usage of the backboard, usage of the sidewall, utilizing that corner as an extra body. You don't just get to walk through the way that Creamy did here.
I mean, he completely fakes out the defense. Zouch is expecting him to boom this on target, and by the time that Zouch decides, okay, now I should challenge, it's a bit too late. Creamy's got the angle and slots it past him. With 50 seconds left, if anyone's going to make the comeback, it's going to be Spinach, but at this point, I'm also thinking it might be too late for this team. A reverse sweep against Must-Do-Fluck might need to be inbound.
They had us in the first half, not gonna lie, and that's literally been the series so far. You know what, Spinach, you've showed me some special stuff before. I'm gonna pretend I'm from Missouri for a moment and ask you to show me again.
I mean, listen, they showed you something. May not be the right side of Kendo. What a goal in favor of Must-Do-Fluck.
You know, I'm all open for either team showing me something. Any clippable offense is taken by me. It's just added content to the highlight reel of this tournament and beyond. And Must-Do-Fluck right now, you got it. They had families.
This is a human highlight reel, or I guess a, automobile highlight reel, if you will, at this point. But seriously, this is it's unreal. There's nothing else really to say at this point, because with 10 seconds left, we're going to move into the third game of this series, and it is going to have to be a reverse sweep if Spinach want to stay in this one. And it's a reverse sweep that's going to have to come off the back of their first goal in the series. Ball hits the ground 2 games in a row now. Must-Do-Fluck have completely shut out this team.
I gotta see the shot count because mercy.
Oh my.
They outshot him. That is, like, Spinach outshot them. And I don't think that's a testament of lack of offense in any stretch of the imagination. I think it's the direction, the purpose behind that offense that you're seeing a lack of here. Because when you can put 12 shots on, but score no goals whatsoever, it's just, there's not enough power, or there's not enough something behind it. Pick a word, you just haven't put enough of that behind it. And Must-Do-Fluck, 11 shots, 5, that's efficiency.
It's just a difference in the way that the teams are operating right now. It feels like when Spinach get into that final third, they're looking a little bit passive, a little tentative, a little bit unsure of how they want to approach this offense. Must-Do-Fluck, they don't care how they approach the offense. As long as they do so with confidence and with some ferocity, they most likely will put on a good shot, and they've done that many, 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 many times. And the unfortunate truth is, though, is Kendo, I don't know if this is going to be something that can be turned around in a single game. Spinach, I'd be happy to see you prove me wrong, but they need more than a turnaround at this point. They need a complete 360, and then hopefully they can find a protractor to keep with the angles, because this is going to be an uphill battle for sure.
If there's nothing that we have learned yet over this bracket, is that you cannot count out Spinach, and they have shown us twice. They're going to need to give us a presentation that is going to be of the utmost speciality, and it can't start out that way.
Yeah, that's oh boy. I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain, because it's probably the cleanest Spanish kickoff I've seen in months. It's perfectly executed. But come on, Must-Do-Fluck, you already are up by 2. Why Spanish kickoff the first goal of game number 3?
They're going to do it again. You want another one? Here's the double commit as well to go with it. And at this point, this is a team showing off. I feel like they understand. They have a superiority, at least in the performance we've seen on the pitch thus far, and they are going to look for some clips, have some fun with it towards the tail end. You're already up by 2. You got a little bit. You leave the chin open just a little. Come on, hit me right there.
Not quite. tonight. I want to see some sort of response here. I want to see Spinach get into this one, but again, I feel like a big thing we need to emphasize here is the difference in experience between the two teams here. While the level of skill might be a bit more in favor of Must-Do-Fluck, it's definitely not going to be overwhelmingly that way. But one thing that is overwhelmingly in their favor is the experience they have at this level. They've taken thousands of dollars home from large tournaments. The most recent result I can think of is last year we saw this team take down formerly German Amigos, now Evil Geniuses, and they got to the second place finish in the Samsung Odyssey League, earning themselves $9,000 from a single event. You don't get that experience overnight. It's not one of these things where it just kind of comes out of nowhere. And as much as Spinach are building up that experience right now, they are unfortunately facing some of the veterans of this bubble scene, and they're struggling against them right now. They have not conceded another goal here in this game, Kendo, but 90 seconds into it, they are definitely feeling the pain.
Man, oh man, and yeah, that is exactly what it is. They are a bubble scene monster in the making, our Must-Do-Fluck, and they are continuing to make themselves better. And when you also consider just how closely knit a lot of these EU teams are, any one of these guys on the pitch can pop off in any given moment, find themselves in a top 16 scenario, even a top 8 scenario on any given RLCS weekend. So you know you're getting to see some of the best that EU Rocket League has to offer, and it's live here on your screen for Hyperluxe. GG!
That's a great back and forth here. And honestly, this is a back and forth that is not as one-sided. It's only 1-0 here, and Neo's actually got a huge breakaway play. Can they get a 50-50? No such luck. Edgeby will send it the other way, and Rexo and him going to try and combine for something special. They're acting a little bit reckless here, but again, with a 1-0 lead already established, you can afford it, especially if you're keeping the other team second-guessing everything they do, because with shots like that, you'll never be able to see clearly. Creamy, beautiful shot on target.
Well, I can see clearly now. The defense wasn't there.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Kind of, the rotation, it just really has been bewildered by what Must-Do-Fluck have been putting forward. And at this point, I would love to see, with just under a half a game to play, Spinach completely open a new camp. By that I mean, put off together your own offensive pacing. It's going to start with this goal here by NXC.
This is a massive goal for a number of reasons. A, the fact that this is the first time I've ever seen the defense look uncomfortable, but also B, it's the first goal of the series for Spinach. They will not get perfect swept at minimum. That is what they have accomplished here. But they still have another uphill battle. They have 2 minutes remaining to try and tie this game. And if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Spinach, but not if the defense is not prepared here. Rexo to the backboard. Creamy wants the double touch on target, but NXC will make the save.
What a save, and now they have something to work with. Big ups to Spinach. The boys in orange finding their way through, not only with a goal, but a big goal line stand. And they keep the momentum going. Zouch is high for this one, forces Rexo to play it out. Edgeby cannot get by Zouch, who actually recovered to hit that one off the backboard again. Really good mechanical play. Backboard not guarded the second time around, though, and they're at least holding their own in the defensive end. It'll be an up and over, and it just cannot get by that midfield presence from Creamy.
It does feel like this backboard is a little bit uncontested right now, and I think that Must-Do-Fluck are starting to notice that. They're trying to pitch it into the corners and then send it up high in the hopes that they can find a follow-up touch, but they do need to be careful when you have this many touches to the backboard and these booming clears like we see out of Rexo. All it really does is give away possession to a team that is starting to warm up and starting to get the iron hot, and double commits like that are going to only leave them with more momentum, but not if they can't clear it. Rexo, a good 50-50, and now with 50 seconds left, it looks like... Wait a minute, what? I was going to say, Must-Do-Fluck going to get locked into the half, but Zouch, no, you can't put that off target. Not on target, and another opportunity squandered for Spinach.
Oh, it's not over yet. NXC has the center, not a follow, however, and Rexo was sure of themselves on the goal line to make sure that ball was at least seen out. Edgeby, the control all the way down, shot, 1, 2, no 3 as Rexo gets saved on by Nikwan. This is going to be brought back. Chance for the transition. 15 seconds to go, and can they push through?
You're going to have to keep on pushing this entire final 10 seconds, though. NXC, waterfall touch, now just there, and we have a tied ball game! After not getting a goal for 2 games straight, Spinach might just send us to overtime.
That might just send us to overtime? I don't know. I don't know. This team has shown us that they find ways to win at the back end of games. Who knows with 7 seconds what might happen? No fake kickoff coming out. And we are seeing 0 seconds. Rexo, don't do it! Don't do it!
And there it is.
Help!
Well, you know what? We can at least say one thing. Beautiful touch out of Creamy and a heck of a way for Must-Do-Fluck to take the win. Just as soon as it seemed like Spinach might have the comeback, Must-Do-Fluck says, I don't think so, lad. I don't think we're going to let you guys make a surprise appearance in the grand finals. We're going to lock ourselves in and take it in a 3 straight sweep. They don't do a perfect sweep, but Kendo still dominant performance out of Must-Do-Fluck.
Oh, this is pain. I thought we had a Spinach comeback in the making, and well, Must-Do-Fluck showed us why they are the team that gets raved about, especially in these tournaments and in some of the tournaments in the bubble scene around EU right now. So that's awesome. I can't wait for what's coming up. And folks, what's coming up is coaching sessions by Hootie Who, right? No, I make sure we link that one more time. And I want to say a special thanks to our friend Hootie Who for putting on that. But we have ourselves a grand finale, and what better way to celebrate it than make it an EU versus NA match? It's going to be Must-Do-Fluck going up against the Belly Bean Boys in a winner-take-all. Well, not quite. There's a division here, but you understand what I'm saying. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
To the end.
And one more time, folks, we're back here. Hyperluxe, GG, Kendo Slice, and the one and only Bess from the past. We have our grand final ahead of us, and it is North America versus EU, a repeat of last week's final where, well, not to give you any spoilers, but the Belly Bean Boys upset Must-Do-Fluck in reverse sweep fashion.
They did, and they did so in, let's say, dramatic fashion as that as well, as you could really see it slipping away as soon as Must-Do-Fluck let go of their grip. But I don't know if we're going to have the same scenario here, Kendo. I think that this one might be a tale of revenge. Must-Do-Fluck look unreal here today, and I'd be very surprised if they end up giving up a lead again in a second week in a row.
Well, that being said, we know the Belly Bean Boys fairly well, and they have made their presence known within the bubble scene on the North America side. You throw in the fact that Must-Do-Fluck have the opportunity to really show themselves to be a dominant force in the EU side. I think the only difference between these two teams is going to be the ping going in, because this is going to be on an East server. So I'm hoping that is not what affects things here, Bass. But the fact is, these gents are ready to go, and they are going to give us the very best show we could possibly imagine. Trevor, Bullseye, and Patty, the Belly Bean Boys, going against Rexo, HP, and Creamy. We're underway in a 5-game series, and it's a false start.
No! All right, well, we're going to just remake the lobby. And give us a little bit more time to talk about these teams, though. That is the good thing, is that both of these players, or both of these teams, excuse me, are going to be rather back and forth. Again, I am a bit concerned, though, seeing Belly Bean Boys here, not with that. I don't know if Trevor is the same player, just under a different name, but usually I see them running with Bat, so it is a little bit of a different lineup. That being said, I still think they should be pretty efficient no matter what.
Yeah, very much so. And yeah, I've seen Bat as well. Belly Bean Boys played with Bat yesterday in another tournament that we had going on. No names, please. I tend to do that every single time. When you're on a certain channel, you don't want to advertise everything else that's going on. But there are other tournaments going on, and very recently, as of yesterday, we did see Bat on the Belly Bean Boys. So it may be just an availability issue. Bat, of course, extremely cracked. Someone you have to watch out for. On the rise, a player within the North American scene.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very good player who has been getting better and better and better and better every single time we see him play. And at this point, I'm starting to wonder if maybe we're going to see him really rise to the occasion here today, or if it is indeed a completely different player. Either way, I'm happy with this. I'm happy to see the Belly Bean Boys compete at a high level here. And like I talked about before, this is going to be a full US East server, so this is going to be one of these things where Must2Fluck do come into this one with a bit of a ping disadvantage. Any other team on the planet, I'd say that's an issue. Must2Fluck, primarily, I'm pretty sure, play at a ping disadvantage. They love going into North American tournaments and playing with 100+ ping. So if anybody's going to be comfortable with it, it's going to be this Must2Fluck squad.
Yeah, it builds character, is what I've heard. And this is a team all about building of the character. We will see if they are able to slot in, if we are able to get one to their liking. And hopefully we do. As the very important thing are these servers. Let's talk about it one more time, though. There is a giveaway for coaching, and it is done by Hootie Hoo. The link will be in the chat one more time. 3 coaching sessions with Hootie Hoo on the giveaway. Make sure you fill out that Gleam IO. Here we go!
Oh, here we go. It is game number 1 in a best of 5. Again, Kendo, it is one best of 5 to determine it all. Because in a single elimination bracket, there is no second chance. This winner takes home 200 USD in favor of the squad. Loser still takes home over $100. It's a pretty good payout, but at the same time, it's not just about the money. It's about being able to show that you are on top, and for Must2Fluck, it's a story about revenge. Let's see what happens as game number 1 kicks off.
I don't know that I want to know what it's all about. I just want to know what are we going to get out of both of these teams on the pitch. And already Must2Fluck are showing us excellent control in the offensive zone. They know that you are taking this as seriously as possible. No longer are you seeing those rampant double commits with very little backup plan behind them. The rotation, quick, cutting. And they are looking for each other. Pass down will not follow through this time around, but they've lived in the offensive zone through this first minute.
Yeah, they have lived in a lot of offensive pressure here, but I don't know if they've really had a shot on target. They registered 3, but in my opinion, most of those shots were not really shots as much as they were just volleys towards the net that the defense easily handled. Another good example here, Bullseye will get credited with a save, but not really much of a save as much as it is just cutting out yet another lackluster shot here. So Must2Fluck maybe trying to test the defense right now, figure out how exactly they're going to be able to approach this one, because so far, no such success, and now they're going to have to play some defense instead.
And to be perfectly honest, I don't mind that. You can toss a couple on net, but I think more important than that is how well you can sustain the offensive zone. And right now, it is Belly Bean Boys getting their trip into offensive confines. Trevor looking for the pass up. He's going to travel into the corner where Hedgeby is already there. Midfield press by Patty will be quelled quickly by Rexo down, and now they are once again in their wheelhouse. Must2Fluck trying to get this by the initial thrust of the defense, but they can't.
It's rather difficult right now for either side to find a lot of momentum in their favor. It just kind of feels like we're in a little bit of a stalemate here, as one of the two teams is looking for either an insane shot that just goes perfectly on target or a defensive error that leaves them incredibly vulnerable. Neither thing is happening right now, and again, defense standing very tall here for Belly Bean Boys. They keep on getting pressed into their half, but every time they are all too prepared for this on defense. So can we see a switch up here? Something going to change? Will Belly Bean Boys maybe get more aggressive? Will Must2Fluck get too aggressive for their liking and leave a counterattack open? Who knows? But at this point, Kendo, with 2 minutes remaining, we could be approaching a golden goal scenario here in game number 1.
Very much so, and I love a hotly contested defensive battle. There's nothing better. People ask, what in the world is wrong with you? Don't you want that high-scoring Big 12 basketball feel? No. Give me hockey-style one-goal games, or give me depth. If I see great defense, if I see people on the goal line standing on their heads in order to make saves, I'm a happy camper.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because that's the thing, is that everybody always talks about the first killers. Everybody always talks about the gyros. They all talk about the guys who are at the front of the team scoring everything, but they're not taking into account Percy. They are not taking into account the backbone of these teams. But maybe right now we should be taking into account Edge B, because what a shot and what a pass from Creamy.
And it was a give and go. HB was the one who originally pushed this up for Creamy and then put themselves in the second man position to play it away. You gotta love this first goal, and they are gonna be looking for more.
Oh, they absolutely are, because with 90 seconds left and only a 1-goal difference here, you know for certain this is not set in stone, especially as Trevor is starting to get real aggressive on offense here. Creamy by themselves has to clear this one out, and they'll get it around one defender, but wait, they'll get it around another. Bullseye getting bullied here. HB setting up his teammates, but no one is there in time, but Must Do Flux might have found some confidence from that first goal.
Yeah, they're giving Bullseye the bull treatment, and now HB with the offensive advantage. This will be another one on an unguarded backboard. Trevor does get up in time, but they are stalling this ball in the offensive zone. And with that goal advantage, that is priority where you want to be. As they have to go the distance of the pitch, you are whittling down the opportunities for Belly Bean Boys to put this ball anywhere close to the net. That's a weak touch, however. Trevor's going to bring this one right back in. And opportunities abound, but HB will win the race to the ball challenge.
Yeah, Patty just playing a little bit too passive out of midfield. Normally, I'd be complimentary of it, but at the end of this game, you gotta send the house, and Must Do Flux is doing that and finding nothing to show for it. 20 seconds left. What could have been the dagger has unfortunately missed the mark, and now they've left the doors wide open. 15 seconds left. Here come all the Belly Bean Boys, but Trevor kind of just spikes it in the corner. He won't give much momentum to Rexo, but they will give time and space. Lads, someone needs to challenge eventually. Rexo given free time and space, and unless Trevor can keep this up, that should be the end. They'll keep it up, though. Bullseye to Patty. Patty gonna try and put it on target. It's off the ceiling. Follow up to the ground, and Must Do Flux will hang on.
Barely by the skin of their teeth, and it took some team effort on the goal line to make sure that one stayed out, but brilliant stuff thus far. They owned Belly Bean Boys as far as the offensive zone went, with a fantastic 11-3 advantage, something you do not see very often. Ping, definitely no issue at all.
Definitely not. If any team's going to feel this comfortable, it's going to be Must Do Flux. And again, maybe that is why they are trying to spend a majority of their time on offense here, is because a lot of the times that you're going to see issues on defense is on the line saves and 50-50s that go awry. If you can just control the ball in the air and continue to put shots on target to where eventually a defense just dishes you the ball to continue your offense, the ping disadvantage isn't really going to be all that prevalent. So let's see. Are we going to find a little bit of a difference here in game number 2? Is Belly Bean Boys going to be able to get back into this one, or are we just going to see Must Do Flux do the same thing again? Kendo, I'd have to imagine we're going to see more of a back-and-forth series than here in game number 1.
Yeah, we will find out, though, as we are slotting in for game number 2. And the Belly Bean Boys, they're going to have their work cut out for them. They looked good at the very beginning, but everything fell off afterwards. Must Do Flux, they were able to control the majority of the match. So let's see. We're going to go and kickoff. Anybody? Anybody at all?
Maybe?
I thought we were going to kick off. Hey, there it is. Hey, there we go. Clean slate, fresh clock. We're underway in game number 2.
Hey, listen, every once in a while, Rocket League just has to keep us on our edge. As if the suspense wasn't already enough here. They're going to do exactly that in-game as well. And Bullseye's going to get out the gates with an offense here. I like that. Belly Bean Boys already diving. Who was that out of midfield? Was that Trevor that we saw fly across our screen? All right, I like it.
Yeah, the aggression going to be stage number 1 of the adjustments made. And I do not mind it at all, as long as you're confident in what you're doing and you put your back behind it. Rexo, that's a wide open net. Going to choose to take resources instead. Can they power through in the corner? Not with Bullseye winning 50s like that.
All right, just to clarify, Belly Bean Boys, if you're listening, as obviously you are, because you always listen to casters while you play. We've learned that time and time again. But seriously, if you are, please don't overextend yourselves. It feels like right now they are recognizing that they need to be more aggressive after playing such a defensive game number 1. Well, lads, there's a difference between aggressive and over-aggressive. That line needs to be toted very, very carefully, because if you give up an easy goal, the Must Do Flux, they will run away with it or send it back into their half, either or.
Well, I mean, I like the idea. It just didn't seem like everybody from Must-Do Pluck was on the same page. The back pass was a perfect misdirection in that circumstance, where whether it was a bump or just a miscommunication, the second one in was not able and ready to receive it. They did have a third, and they were ready to make sure they corralled the ball back in their own zone, and they have ushered it all the way back into the offensive side. Patty is there to at least stop the first shot on, but it's the second one, the third one, I think are going to be the most lethal.
And they're going to need to be very lethal at this point here. It does feel like it's going to be few and far between shots in this game, as a midfield presence has developed itself a whole lot more thoroughly than the first game. At the same time, though, it does feel like this midfield presence is a little bit chaotic here. It's just teams getting in the way of each other, booming clear after booming clear, and then 50-50 after 50-50. Maybe that can work out. Bullseye, that's another 50-50 in front of the Must-Do Ned. Oh, but HB, he's going to fake out so many, but he's not going to fake it out enough. Patty with the first goal and the lead in favor of the team in blue.
Okay, this is a absolute lesson. What you have to do when you miss your initial challenge. Patty doesn't just forsake the play. And normally the thought process is, let's go for a couple of demos on the back line. No, Patty rotates back, notices, hey, this is a ball that I can cut upon, communicates the circumstance, and then makes it go through. All of that is null and void now because off of the kickoff, Creamy shows up utilizing a little bit of ceiling. Oh my, what?
It's beautiful. It's just nice.
Wow.
It's just getting in the way. It's just so
Wow.
well set up. And honestly, Kendo, at this point, if this doesn't prove that this has been a midfield battle game, I don't know what was. Those are the first two shots of the game. On both sides, whether it's Belly Bean or Must-Do, it has been all midfield back and forth. So we asked for more lethal shots, and we are getting them. That one off target, but yeah, Must-Do ready to play.
I find it funny that that is the first time in my casting career that I have observed a team member's avatar or their in-game picture. For Creamy, it's literally one of the Rugrats with a hold this, and it's a picture of them holding up the L. That's what that play felt like. It felt like hold this L. Y'all are gonna see that one goal lead you just got. Bye.
It just gotta hurt too. Like, imagine just forking so hard. It's been almost 3 minutes of gameplay. You finally get the first goal, and it's a beautiful goal at that from passing play. And then they go, yeah, not physical play instead. What if I just bumped you out of the way in front of your net? Like, it's just so demoralizing. And, well, you can kind of see that now because it's a very passive turnaround here as we're starting to see the Belly Bean Boys get locked into their half. Kendo, I don't like this. Whenever a team starts to lose confidence from a single goal, you can tell they're a volatile one who rides that momentum.
Very much so. That being said, you could also see that momentum quickly shift. I don't want to call it bipolar nature, but it is amazing how fast you can shift the gears as a prospective team, and I'm looking for Patty, especially right now. Was the initiator in on that previous play? Can they find another one on the back drop? Oh, that double commit, not a good sign. Rexo's going to be able to keep this one in the offensive zone. Bullseye handles it well into a 50-50. Crisis averted.
Barely averted, though. It does feel like we said, you're seeing just a little bit of uncomfortability on the back half here for the Belly Bean Boys. They're not playing poorly, but it is one of these things where a single mistake is what could separate the two teams, and it's who is more likely to make that mistake now that we are in crunch time. 40 seconds left, and at this point, you have to imagine it's golden goal scenario. The next team to strike most likely will take this one, and for Belly Bean Boys, they can't really afford to lose it. They go down 0-2 in the series. They'll have to reverse sweep Must-Do Pluck for the second week in a row, and while I believe in them to do so, the odds are beyond unlikely.
And I don't like those odds whatsoever, and now you're getting a team play. Rexo trying to find a secondary touch, finds HP. This is going to be down for Creamy. Shot towards the net. Patty sweeps it away at the very last moment, and they might go all the way back.
Oh, this one's up, though. Trevor, he's going to keep this alive off the backboard. HB is there, but he's actually going to sit it to no one. Why was no one there? A follow-up touch should have been found for the Belly Bean Boys, but instead, they let it drop to the ground. Kendo, I don't know about you, but that looked like a golden scenario.
It could not have gotten any better, and now it can't get any worse off the kickoff. It's Rexo to put it away.
Oh,
you
that's
hate
painful.
to see this. You hate to see it pass. My goodness.
I mean, you love to see it if you're a
And you
Must-Do
love
Fluck
to see-
fan.
Yeah, but at the same time, oh man. I was like, okay, I know I am no stranger to saying this. I am a caster for the content. You know, I have no rooting interest between these two teams, and I'm not about to play favorites, but anytime that I can get a game 5 in, I want that game 5 and go down the way that Belly Bean Boys do there after scoring the first goal. It is a demoralizing loss, that is for sure.
And you can really tell how much momentum factored into this game because remember how we talked about, first 2 goals get scored. It's 1 shot apiece, each team, being very precise. And then the game changes. Must-Do Fluck gets momentum and they finish off the game with 7 shots, piling on 6 of them basically in the back half. And it just turned into the same game as the first one. Overwhelming pressure from Must-Do Fluck while Belly Bean Boys started to second guess themselves and became a lot more passive. So that hesitation in favor of Belly Bean Boys right now is not in favor. They need to change that up. And Kendo, I believe that they can, but now they have to. Backs against the wall, they lose this. That's the end of the day.
Absolutely. I apologize. I misheard you say that as bass against the wall, and
no, we can't say that word on stream. Don't worry. They don't have that against the wall. They have their backs right now instead.
okay, backs against the wall. Absolutely. I'm sorry that it just got me there for a moment. Bass against the wall.
It's the name of my next podcast, actually. You just don't know it yet.
Oh, can I be on? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game number 3. Will it be a sweep? Or will it be the start of a potential reverse sweep, a return to sender per se? We will find out as once again here in game 3, the slate has been cleaned. The time has been reset. Someone hoping for content might come on the back of the physical play!
All right, apparently that's how this is going to start off. After complete awkwardness in the corner, no one wants to do anything definitive. Patty says, all right, if you guys don't want to clear the way, I will. Demo in the net, and 30 seconds in, Belly Bean Boys take the lead.
Love it. I was looking to Patty. That's not what I was expecting from Patty, but we will take it in this scenario. They start off foot right ahead, and now with the 1-goal lead, we'll see if they can keep it. Already doing better than they did in the previous scenario because that kickoff goal, another crisis averted. Here comes Edgeby looking for Rexo. This is a very dangerous spot. Flick up and over. No, it's Patty on the goal line. Again, keeping that one out, but they are not done yet. Edgeby cannot get it by Bullseye, and we see the ball is clear.
Finally, Patty gets it out of the half, and honestly, they deserve to be the one to get that clear as well, but I don't know if Trevor deserved to be the one to get demoed right there, because now the pressure is back in favor of Must-Do Fluck. It does feel like this midfield presence is starting to become a little bit more standard here, similar to the last game. We just have to hope that Belly Bean Boys do not get scored on here and let that dissipate yet again. This team, when they are in favor, when they have confidence and play with that confidence, they look the best. When they start to get passive, it is by far when the panic sets in and when they look the worst. So, 90 seconds into it, they look like they're on top, but we know how quickly that can change.
Just looking for changes right now, and I am still seeing one thing that concerns me, and that is Belly Bean Boys giving up balls in that scenario. A loose ball in the mid has been the bane of their existence, and once again, the touch by Bullseye ended up being something that has created this offensive stint for the Must-Do Fluck, and now it's going to continue. It's been over 30 seconds. It's a shot on. It's a save by Patty on the goal line. But this is not sustainable defense.
It cannot be. Something's got to change here. Patty may have 3 saves, Bullseye actually has 3. Patty, that's only their second. They have 5 saves. Just about half the game, and a 6th will arrive as well. But how many can they make, Kendo? Something's got to give. If you put on this pressure, eventually there will be a crack, and if they've got a sledgehammer, they're going to crack it wide open. Let's see, can it be here? Creamy to the backboard. Is anyone there? No, Patty again. Another clutch save.
And it's at this point I tell you, you need a sledgehammer. Oh my, here comes Rexo. I had to channel my inner JR. There he is. He's got the sledgehammer.
Oh, he's trying to come from the top ropes, but not quite. Missing the
Not
market,
quite.
unfortunately. It could come back to bite them. Good shot. Down on the target. HB just barely off. And, well, the edge right there in favor of Belly Bean Boys.
And here we go. We got 1 minute, 45 seconds left on the clock, and Belly Bean Boys looking better than they have in this entire series. One game could change the entire complexion as they are getting more pressure than they have before. You consider the fact they've only had a mere 4 shots in this entire series, and Bullseye, that's going to be yet another one on net.
All right, Patty, that's just mean. You can't bully a team like this. He just comes flying through. It's like, HB, I don't care if this goes on target. I just care if I can get in your way. And does exactly that. 2-0 in favor of the Belly Bean Boys, but we've seen some miraculous comebacks today, including from the team in orange here. But what about a 3-0? Another one goes in, and Belly Bean Boys looking to continue the series.
Oh, yes. You know what? I'm smiling ear to ear right now because caster for the content. Yes, sir. We get by the look of it, a potential game for it. At the very least, we have a heartbeat, a pulse, and the Belly Bean Boys are not going down without a fight. 2 weeks in a row, they look to mount the comeback in the latest of hours. This is going to be a push from Bullseye into the zone. Is that a Rule 1 on the back end? Let's have to check it out. We'll see it in, I think it's a 2v2. So yes, Rule 1 all the way in the back.
Now, this could be beneficial for Must-Do-Fluck, but one thing that is a little bit true is that the goals are a little bit harder to come by in a 2v2 scenario like this when you've been playing with Three's rotation for literally an entire day. Now they're going to have to try and speed up the process here, and yeah, that's the hesitant play I was talking about. It's basically solo attack after solo attack at high level 2s, and that's not going to work out in favor of Must-Do-Fluck here. 37 seconds left, and although it is possible, Kendo, it is looking highly unlikely. We most likely are moving on to Game 4.
They need to score on this drive. HD!
I'm just gonna, you know what? Nothing. Just let's sit in this goal. Let it watch back. Just nasty. Just disgusting from HB. And now, with 27 seconds left, he might have turned the tide here, Kendo.
Yeah, you very much have the opportunity to, at the very least, they find solace on the back end of what has been a very accurate shellacking. 5 shots on, 4 of them now goals, and the Belly Bean Boys, they've made us a statement. Okay, man, my goodness, are they a good team.
I mean, Trevor, what on God's green earth are you doing challenging on the ceiling in your opponent's final third? He came through and basically went, yeah, I don't really care what you plan on doing with this ball. I've got better ideas with it. And, well, here's another good idea. Put some more shots on target here. I'm loving this. The way the Belly Bean Boys have found the confidence that we said would propel them to victory, and they seem to understand that. They are playing every ball with risk, but they are playing it with the reward as well. Belly Bean Boys take their first game of the series, and now, for Must-Do-Fluck, you have to imagine in the back of their minds, it's creeping. Oh no, here we go again.
Yeah, but you can't allow that thought to be what determines the way you play, Bass. And if they do, well, it's already over. I'm looking over here at the statistics, and it's crazy to think that before this game, Belly Bean Boys were looking at just 4 shots in 10 minutes. They not only double that, they tack on 2 more. So to get 250% of what you had before, let's double it, then let's add a little bit. Oh my goodness. And then the efficiency they had with the shots, that's tough to overcome. It's back to the drawing board for Must-Do-Fluck, and I don't know how they actually overcome that.
I honestly think one of the biggest ways to do that is to just try and build momentum back in their favor. And as simple as this may sound, a kickoff goal or an early goal from Must-Do-Fluck could change this entire series back into their favor, just not allowing the momentum to further drip away from them. And if they can do that, I think they can close it out in 4 here. But we're casters for the content, like you said. Let's see it go to 5. Let's see this one go the distance, and oh no! Let's see HB do it again. I'm stumbling over my words because this is filthy.
Yep. Just control and a nice little inversion on the flick. You gotta love it, up and over. That's some one's prowess if I've ever seen it. Edgeby, dirty as ever, get that man a shower.
He's been popping off for this team again, and it's really interesting because if I'm not mistaken, I think Edgeby is one of the newer players for this squad. I believe previously it was Creamy and Rexo on the main squad, with Rexo coming in as the sub. Edgeby, the newest player of this team, and he's doing a great job at that. Last I saw him, he played for formerly Nordavind, now 00 Nation in Telja League, and that's the only time I've really seen him play at a high level. But apparently, I need to watch him more because, oh my, is he being integral in this series.
Very much so, and now it is going to be up to Belly Bean Boys to do what they have not done yet, and that is answer the call when they go down by 1. Creamy looking for teammates in the midfield, a little bit of a loose touch, lethargic effort, and a big demo!
Oh!
Bullseye just has to put it in, he does! Tie game, 4 minutes, 4 seconds to go!
Listen, Bullseye, you deserve the credit on the goal on that one, but at the same time, come on now, just give Trevor the goal at this point here. He's still looking for another one. You've got a ton. You're 4th in 2 games now at this point. Bullseye seems to have found that hot hand when it comes to the offense, whether it's demos, whether it is quite literally clearing the lane or putting on good shots. He has been integral, and well, they're going to need him to stay that way here. A minute into game number 4, and continually Belly Bean Boys fighting for their lives.
Well, yeah, and at the same time, I think it is that physical play that's been the X factor for Belly Bean. They have pushed into what has been a undisrupted defensive rotation, even on the back end right there. Bullseye looking for Edgeby on the back post, and if you can create off of those opportunities that you're building up, that is brilliant stuff. You're taking them off their game and adding a completely different layer to their rotation that they have to tighten. Oh,
ooh, they're going to have to tighten up a little bit more. Creamy in the tightest of angles will find another one. And, oh, must do Fluck. What on earth?
Creamy, this is absolutely beautiful. An extra touch on the side, and I cannot believe that they did that through all 3 defenders. Well placed and well played.
Oh, fantastically played, and unfortunately, that's kind of what we're seeing here at this point,
wow.
Is that Must Do Fluck are just not going to give up, but neither are their opponents. Belly Bean Boys ricocheting off the bar, and oh boy, Kendo, they're going to want that opportunity back.
The major adjustment that I'm seeing here from Must Do Fluck is they're shortening up some of their rotations in offense. They are working closely together. You see Trevor creeping up on Bullseye up close right here for the Belly Bean Boys, and it's creating opportunities both back the other way as well as in their favor if they can remain accurate and on the challenge.
All right, so let's just clarify this. Trevor gets it center, Patty goes for the bump, Rexo just kind of sends it out, and Bullseye is there. All 3 players getting involved, and crazy part is I don't think all 3 players touch the ball. It's just Belly Bean Boys, that presence they have in that final third now. It is very different than the first couple games where Must Do Fluck might have thought they had control over them to start this series. To walk away, though, they are definitely going to find some newfound respect for this Belly Bean Boys squad.
Me and the Wild, the Belly Bean Boys are just looking for new ways to disrespect the defensive rotation. They are physically enamored with trying to find the opposing bumper. Will they be able to do so in a crucial moment is the question that we are trying to discover at the tail end of this series. Edgeby looking for Rexo. Cannot find the shot on, but will be able to continue this ball in the offensive zone. Tries for the Goomba Stomp, will not be able to find anybody, and at this point, I feel like it is a physical play back the other way that's going to make the difference, really, for either of these teams.
Also being advantageous as well. Ball goes in the center. You at least need to put a player on to put a shot on target, and they will not find that, and now they're going to have to try and do it all over again. Creamy, he's cleared the way in the center, but he's not going to get enough space. Edgeby tries to slot it past the last 2 defenders. Now, Kendo, comes that scary scenario you and I know we've talked about a million times on broadcast. Final 90 seconds, and it is all tied up. The next team to score, most likely walking away with this one, and Must Do Flux seem to want to be that team.
Yes, they do, and Bullseye once again definitely doing the heavy lifting on some of these 50-50s. Multiple times that we have seen the 50 wins result in major goal line stands, or in some cases, even offensive efforts back the other way. But a miss at the most critical time opens it up for Edby.
Ooh, I've got my hands just, I'm covering my mouth and just, no! That can't be the way that this ends! Not for Belly Bean Boys, who have had such a fight! They played so well, and that's why we say one single mistake is what can separate two squads in a tournament like this. But Belly Bean Boys are determined to not let that happen. They want to keep on trucking and keep on playing, but they need to get some shots on target. Edby to take it the other way. And now at this point, they've got two opponents on the pitch. Not only do they have to fight Must-Do-Fluff, but they've got to fight the clock as well. Final 30 seconds looming, and they need a miracle, Kendo.
But they do have possession in the offensive zone, and not that Edby has nothing to say about it. Trevor, the 1-2. Patty overruns it in this case, and Rexo is in no man's land. No boost, tries to keep possession of the ball. They need to pressure here, and Trevor will do so. Bullseye's out in front, misses the demo, and they go for a second physical play. That may be all she wrote. They use so much resources in that moment. Ball, 0 seconds, go the distance, not today. Must-Do-Fluff will end this series in Game 4.
And they do so in dramatic fashion. We say that a lot to end a game, but now more than ever, I think we can all agree that is one of the most heartbreaking ways we could see an end for the Belly Bean Boys. They played their absolute hearts out, left it all out on the pitch, but unfortunately for them, a single error on the back end is what has separated the two teams and what has crowned Must-Do-Fluff the champions of your tournament here today. Congratulations on winning this knockout series number 4 event. They walk home with $200 in their pocket. And Kendo, they also walk away with a revenge story over the Belly Bean Boys.
Yes, they do. But credit to the Belly Bean Boys. They get themselves back in, and hopefully we can get even more competition for these two teams as they continue to make runs. I mean, they are consistently finding themselves at the top of these tournaments. And on that note, you got to get in. You got to get in the tournament in order to be a part of the tournament, in order to play for the money, and it's going to be of the utmost importance as we enter into the Founders Series. Again, folks, it is on the 13th of this month. That Sunday starts the Founders Series, the first of a 4-week qualifying effort for a gigantic tournament at the end. And by the way, you think to yourself, hey, it's just a qualifier. I don't need to do that. It's a $400 prize pool qualifier. You do not want to miss it. If you one off and win one and don't even bother coming back, you might not qualify for later on. I mean, it's $400 prize pool. What's wrong with you? Make sure that you get yourself signed up. I'm sure that they will have the link there in the chat, and they'll be talking about it on Twitter quite a bit. I mean, you're fooling yourself if you don't get signed up as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And well, speaking of Twitter, if you guys want to go and check out our Twitter a little bit more here, Hyperluxe are doing a giveaway on their Twitter as well for a couple of coaching sessions from our good friend Hootie, who's been around the scene for a very long time. So if you guys are interested in getting 3 coaching sessions with him, you're gonna have to go and check out our Twitter. Links not only are gonna be down below, like directly down below us, but we also are gonna have them popping up in chat. !Founders and ! Giveaway, bringing up both of those little info packets. So please go and check it out. Go and get some lessons from Hootie Who. Go and sign up for our Founder Series because unfortunately, Kendo, this is the end of our day, my friend.
You think Hootie could actually teach me how to grow like the proper mustache? Because like it's what I'm lacking right now.
I'll ask
this
him.
looks
Ask him in
good.
LA.
This looks good. This is fine. I mean, I can ask him in LA most likely too. We'll figure all that out. It's logistics, darling. It's logistics at this point. But yeah, you got all that. I just need the little curl right there. I mean, who knows? Get yourself signed up there. It's all free entry. So he too could teach you how to mustache you. Anyway, my friend, it's been fantastic being in the booth with you again. And then, oh my goodness, what a series, what content we've had. I learned a lot about not only some of the teams in both regions, NA and EU. I learned about some of the heart that we have in the up-and-coming talent, and it's going to get better from here, and hopefully we're all able to grow together. I want to say a special thank you, of course, to you, my friend. Thank you for being part of this with me. But I also want to say thank you to everyone in the back. HAW was our person pressing the buttons
AJ.
on the wheel of steel the entire time, making sure we saw things through. Psycho and King Plays, thank you for administrating throughout the night. Folks, we're going to be back. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you get yourself signed up for the next Hyperluxe GG tournament. We'll see you on the flip side.